Senate Bill 2099 Surplus Tax Relief Act. This is the fourth year I've submitted this legislation to refund budget surpluses to Rhode Island's taxpayers, the people who paid in more money than needed to fund the state's expenses. Rhode Island state government closed out the 22-23 budget year with a surplus of $410 million. As I recall, we used the money to plug holes in the budget, and we created a few new programs. By comparison, in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, there was a budget surplus of $2.97 billion. And that year, individuals received approximately 13% of their Massachusetts personal income tax liability back as a refund. So if a taxpayer paid 10 grand in state taxes, they received a refund of approximately $1,300. The difference is that Massachusetts has Chapter 62F, which says if the state tax revenue exceeds a cap tied to wage and salary growth, the excess must be returned to the taxpayers. In Rhode Island, 2023-24 fiscal year, we ended up with a $291.8 million surplus. In 24-25, we ended with a modest $5.6 million surplus. And now, the 25-26 fiscal year, we have a total windfall of $233 million in unexpected revenue, according to the last revenue estimating conference held earlier this month. This legislation is pretty straightforward. It mandates that any surplus state tax revenue received in any fiscal year would be refunded to the taxpayers of the state on a proportional basis in relation to the personal income tax liability incurred by the taxpayers in that fiscal year. Our budget, or at least the one proposed by the governor, is hovering right around $15 billion this year. And the General Assembly goes back and forth with the governor's office, and we negotiate a compromise until we ultimately set forth an estimate of revenues and expenditures. And let's be clear, when we refer to revenue, it's not just revenue in the business sense, like sales revenue for the government, it's in taxes and fees, taken directly and indirectly from the pockets of Rhode Islanders. Tax fees, revenue, all amount to a financial burden for those that have no choice but to pay them. When the state ends a fiscal year with a surplus, it means we underestimated revenue or overestimated expenditures. And that's not a bad thing. I'll take a surplus over a deficit any year. But a surplus, for whatever reason, means the state collected more tax dollars than necessary. Those tax dollars should go back to the taxpayers because it is their money. Other states, including our neighbors in Massachusetts, do this. It's the right thing to do. We undermine public confidence and trust in the budget process by not doing it. The government puts forth a budget in good faith. It collects the taxes and fees in good faith. It covers agreed upon expenditures in good faith. And then there is a surplus. The government needs to keep that faith and return the surplus funds to the taxpayer. Possible opposition could be money should be spent for social services and welfare, underfunded programs, and etc. My response to that would be the best social welfare is to let the people keep more of their money they earn. They are the best stewards of their money. When returned to the taxpayers, those funds will be put back into the economy at the discretion of those who earned it. It can lessen the burden of Rhode Islanders who struggle to keep with the uprising costs of food, gas, and housing, and more. It's a much more efficient way because it cuts off the middleman. Thank you.